Here. What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. April 11, 2023. Hope you guys are doing all right. We are given another day with a main slate and then a couple games before that are floating. We will be focused on the main slate on this stream, research all that game by game. Fun slate, I think, on the surface. Decent enough pitching, that would be NBA. And then a couple of super high octane offense spots. So we'll have some fun trying to navigate. How'd you guys do last night? Last night was the first night I feel like this season I got pitching stances wrong. I was not that interested in Andrew Heaney. I will say he projected ownership-wise higher than he actually was, which was one of the catalysts in me being so anti-Heaney. But I also, I kind of figured he wouldn't be that high owned. And then Zach Gallen, somebody that was slipping through the cracks. I didn't have nearly enough of, certainly didn't have nearly what the field had of him. And for Heaney and Zach Gallen to be the best two pitchers on the slate without even it was unfortunate because I was pretty bullish on Luis Castillo. Bryce Elder, was a free square, so I'm happy with that. But being under on Heaney and Gallen It's kind of a not what you want thing, right? What up, Alan? What up, Ryan? What up, Dylan? What up, Dang Lazy Mofo? What up, Ryan? Sean Murphy walk-off for the Braves was great. What up, Jake? What up, Kevin? Any leaked documents for today? I don't. Elder Prop hit yesterday. Yeah, Luis Castillo wasn't great at the end of it all. Looking back at the scores from yesterday, yeah, Gallen and Heaney were two of the highest scoring players on the slate. Urias was down there as well. Sometimes taking a stance is not going to work. There were some things that we'd researched that did play out, like Darvish. Actually, while we're here, I want to see if they posted the in-game results of Darvish, because we talked about his first start where swing and strike rate was so low, and that kept me off him completely yesterday. And then looking up at the scoreboard every now and then, didn't look like he was having a great game. But I am curious to see how the swinging. So he's still at 6%. This is a problem. 2 games in a row, 6 and 4% swinging strike rate. Something to keep in mind going forward in another 5 days, right? What up, Patrick? Ranger fan. Heaney is a dog. Heaney's got Heaney's strikeout stuff has certainly been there, always been there. Yesterday, the main reason I was off of him was roof open, high ownership projected, and then that first inning, it looked like he was in a jam. He got through. What are you gonna do? Sometimes your stands work, sometimes they don't. But it's all about taking stands, because when you take that stand and Heaney gets shelled, and Castillo does what he's supposed to do, it is what it is. But like I said, that was the first time all year. At the end of the night, I was like, dang, man, I whiffed on pitching so bad. Usually pitching's the strong suit, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What up, Travis? What up, Trey? Hope you're doing all right, Trey. Yeah, he went super ceiling. And I had that hunch on the stream yesterday that he wasn't going to be that high on. I missed the memo on Gallen, man. Gallen was massively owned. Coltrane, and they opened the roof there. That kept me on the offenses. Coltrane today, yep. Early slate. Yankees threw out a weird lineup. I just got done listening to Aaron Boone interview about it. But what are you going to do? What up, Melinda? What up, gun girl? I'm the clubhouse. I'm the clubhouse. I don't know what that means. Maybe you got auto-corrected. Hello, Melinda. Hope you're doing all right. Nailed Heaney, whiffed on Webb. I could see that. Yeah, pitching against the Dodgers. It's always a risky one. Dodger stacks, man. They fell through the cracks for me. I had some one-offs, but not full ones. Yeah, Heaney's upside was there. It's just, that's one of the stances. One of the stances didn't come through. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Maybe we can. Let's go look at Heaney's in-game results. Maybe we can bail it. You can't really say you got lucky when you had so many strikeouts, right? We can't. I don't know. But we know that 25-30% K rate is possible. He had a 14% swing. He only had a 45% first pitch strike. Bruh. Over half of his at-bats started in a 1-0 count. Is that for real? Sheesh. And he still turned it up. 187 xFIP. No ground balls. You put the ball in play, it was going in the air. No hard contact. Good for him. Good for him. No barrels. 3 hard hits yesterday. Yeah, that's crazy. Good for him. Girl in the clubhouse. Oh, you're the girl in the clubhouse. All right. What up, Melinda? Hope you're doing all right. Love the easy min cash, just fading cores. The easy minimum cash. I'm with it. Guys, do we have a baseball taco yet? You know what I ran into yesterday? I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it was the first time I stumbled on it on No House, and Underdog has it too, where you could bet over/under on singles, and I just feel like that's one of the dirtier things to have to put into a parlay approach card. Is whether or not, because what that means, if a guy hits a home run or a double, he missed hitting a single. And it's like, man, who is somebody out there actually betting singles? Like, oh man, baseball is crazy enough as it is. Why would they start peppering? Just give me total bases, give me fantasy points, give me strikeout props. They're doing too much. 9 in a row for the Rays, or for who? What up, Rob F? Hope you're doing all right. People like Seattle stacks against Smiley. I love Seattle. Seattle was probably a top 3, top 4 own stack for me. Didn't come through. All right, we don't victory lap 1 game stuff. Certainly not what you want, but I'd probably run that back every day. You get AJ Pollock, Teoscar Hernandez, Julio Rodriguez, Eugenio Suarez in Wrigley. Especially today, the wind was a day late, but results aren't something to overreact to, whether it's good or bad, right? But if you played Smiley, you're a psycho. But congrats if you did. What up, EB? All right, let's do a little bit of research here. Stream brought to you by RunDFS.com. If you guys want to unlock the spreadsheet, be able to use it while you do your research for the main slate today. It's behind the paywall at RunDFS.com. Get yourself a week pass, 2-week pass, month pass, whatever you want. Comes with Fantasy Cruncher voucher towards your optimizer subscription. And what else? Oh, it gets you the RunDFS.com Discord. Last night we spent basically the whole slate in voice chat, screen shared something that may have looked like the baseball games, I don't know. And we had some fun with it. After today we get back into day games, so we might hang out for a little bit tonight. We'll see. But yeah, if you guys want to join that community, go to rundfs.com, click VIP memberships, get behind the paywall. Now let's get behind the research. We have a couple of lineups out, so we're gonna go game by game here. And as we get lineups, we'll punch them into the spreadsheet. Some lineups do, some lineups don't. But probably over the course of the next hour and a half, we'll have a lot of stuff drop, right? So if everything's good, if the music's good, and there's no issues, let me check something real quick. What's our sub count out? Yesterday we had like 7 or 8 new subs. We're gonna start this party off at 86.24, so 24. So we can get to 86.30 today. It'll be a dub. I'm the psycho that played almost 20% Smiley. Woo! Hey man, congrats. Not enough Muncy. Yeah, Muncy went bananas. I actually had this up, right? Muncy against the Giants apparently is a thing. 2 bombs, 7 ribeye steaks, and a walk. Phillies game wasn't on the main slate. Sean Murphy talked about what he did to send everybody home. Drive home safely. Julio Urias, 8 strikeouts, 6 innings. Good for him. Mookie was up there. Dodger stack was, 2 of the top 5 scoring players on the slate. But yeah, other than that, average results. For a while, that slate was kind of asleep, Like, it was just quiet. We didn't have a ton of homers. What are you trying to warn us about? Oh, man. All right, Tigers and the Blue Jays. Project starting 5. Oh, no, we don't have projected. And they also don't have 5. We have 5.8 implied run total for the Blue Jays. 3.4 for the Tigers. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the Blue Jays home opener. So a little extra pizzazz behind that. And the Blue Jays are dang near a 3-run favorite against the Tigers, who are one of the worst teams in baseball. Blue Jays minus 290 in the money line. Matt Manning on the bump for the Tigers. Alek Manoah going for the Blue Jays. Probably goes without saying for the Blue Jays to have a near 6-run total that we are not that interested in the starting pitcher going against them. Last season and the season prior, Matt Manning had between a 4 and a 5.4 expected ERA. His whip well above 1. His strikeout percentage below 20%. Just not a high quality pitcher. His results severely outperformed the predictive metrics, the Sierra and expected ERA, and then we'll see if he's got some information for us to take and run with from this season. So let's pull up his card over on Fangraphs. What's up, OB? Hope you're doing all right. 6.7% swing and strike rate in that Houston start. Not what you want. 5 xFIP. Not what you want. 47% pull rate. 40+% fly ball rate in that game. And then StatCast gave up a barrel and 8 hard hit balls. None of that is what you want. So if that continues, and looking at his splits from last year, he was over 40% fly ball rate to righties, 37% hard contact rate. All that is bad going against a good Blue Jays team, especially with some really strong righties in the mix. So yeah, Blue Jays make a ton of sense today with a 6-run total. So we have to start off our list here. We'll put Blue Jays. This isn't going to be a ranking yet. We're just going through here and jotting down teams that are obvious teams that we want to get to. And then I know we're going to get to Alek Manoah. I'm going to start him as a tier 2 here, but let's talk about him a little bit. Last season, Manoah was really, really good. 2 seasons in a row now of sample size of being pretty doggone solid. A 3.3 expected ERA for 2 years in a row, around a 1 whip. The strikeout rate went down a little bit last year, to about 5% overall. And we can kind of look at his lefty splits here, and this could be something that moves him down to tier 3 when we're done. But a 4.6 xFIP to lefties last season with just a 19% K rate. This Tigers lineup projects to be really lefty heavy. So we'll see what the actual confirmed lineup is. No matter what, there's a ton of strikeouts in this lineup against right-handed pitching, but there is at least some pessimism, I guess you could say, in Manoah's lefty split. So we'll look at Manoah's first couple starts. His first outing wasn't great. Second outing certainly got better. But let's look at the advanced metrics to see if all is clear. 10 and 14% swing and strike rate, St. Louis and KC. Batted ball data, 6 and a 5+ xFIP first 2 games. So that's actually alarming. Means that if he were to continue to pitch the same way he has been pitching, we might expect a 5 to 6 ERA versus the actual results that he got. And then the StatCast in these games, 4 barrels in the first 2 games, 13 hard hit balls in the first 2 games. Is Manoah a trap? Let's look at the pitch velo. 93 mile an hour average fastball velocity, and he found 3 miles an hour from the first game to the second game. That's a really good sign. Incredible that you find 3 miles an hour in 5 days, but good for him. And that was something that we did note from this year to last year. Last year, that was his average fastball velocity over 93. So to come out in game 1 and be sitting at 91, we're like, but we didn't overreact to it. But yeah, okay, so the velo is back. But I think with that information, man, I hate to do this. I'm going to put Manoah as a tier 3 for now. What's his ownership today? Refresh now. We just got a lineup from them too. That's good. Anyone popping on the bomb detector from this first game? Let's see. So the magic number's 4. We have Brandon Belt with a 4+. We've got Varsho, Vladdy, and George Springer all got 3.8 or better. On the Tigers side, Kerry Carpenter's at a 3.8. So only 1-4, and it might be stashed in the bottom of the lineup for a slow out of the gate Brandon Belt. But let's see. The lineup did just come out, right? So let's... At least I think the lineup just came out. I think Fantasy Cruncher just is coming out. But what were we looking at? We're looking for ownership on... Alek Manoah. Coming at about 34%. Man, I don't want to overthink a strikeout pitcher against the Tigers, but there's definitely some cause for concern in the first 2 games in I guess Sierra xFIP. So we have to play him, but man, 30+% does feel a little bit uncomfortable on those 2 numbers, but I think that's okay because It's not like he's the end-all be-all. We got DeGrom, we got Ohtani. We certainly got plenty of formidable guys on the bump today to start getting behind. So I'll do some more thinking about that as we go on. But I do think there's more to be worried about here than the surface lets on, right? Let me go pull up a. Oh, I didn't look at weather today. Are we clear on that? Yesterday was so good, I just forgot that weather could be a thing. Let's go pull up Mr. Roth real quick. rotogrinders.com/weather/MLB. Looks like we're pretty good. We just have win games for the most part. Chicago is the big win game, right? Straight away, 110 miles an hour. Nice bump to bats. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. All right, cool. No rain here. And then Blue Jays. So we'll get the Blue Jays lineup confirmed since we're here. Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladdy, Dalton Varsho, Matt Chapman. He's got a fast car. Brandon Belt, that 4+ bomb detector rating, gets a boost from the projected lineup. Alejandro Kirk, Kevin Biggio, Kevin Kiermaier. All right, we'll green light that. I can't stack Tigers, so I guess I'll have to lean way more towards forgiving Manoah for some unfortunate metrics. What up, CT here? Matt Chapman's on fire and one of the highest OPS in MLB. How is he not in there? What do you mean? Oh, in where? He's in. I mean, he's certainly in the lineup. I like him quite a bit. I like the whole lineup here. But yeah, Chapman's had a really good start. Biggio birthday. Stop it. Stop it. Padres at the Mets. Next game on the docket. We do have a Mets lineup. Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, Frankie Lindor, Pete Alonso, Mark Canha's batting 5th. Jeff McNeil. You're Jeff McNeely. Edward Erod and Francisco Alvarez. One of the top prospects in baseball, batting 9th. Padres lineup hasn't come out yet. We got Ryan Weathers and David Peterson. Current Southpaws, 9 OU, a 5 implied runs total for the Mets, 4.3 on the Padres. Ryan Weathers, 2.73 whip. Oh, wait, that's only 3 innings last year. Season prior, 1.38 whip, 5.3 expected ERA. Did Weathers pitch in the minors, or was he injured? I don't want to be too harsh on him, but the big league sample so far, not great. Not what you want. That's what you something. 23. Let's go splits. 2022. No narratives in MLB. Mike Trout on Mother's Day. Alright, so he did pitch last season. And we've got 30.2 innings against lefties. Does it say 341 average allowed against same-handedness hitters? A 1.96 whip. This isn't real. What? He has a career 5 1/4 ERA in the minors, 247 innings pitched with 207 Ks and a 1.52 whip. How does this ever get called up? That's incredible. 86.1 innings against righties in the minors with 58 Ks, a 323 average allowed, a 1.85 whip. He's a fly ball pitcher. 21 homers, 86.1 innings, 10 in. Bro, this is terrible. First game against Arizona, 5 hits in 5 innings, a walk, 2. Bro, how did the Padres of all teams? I mean, they must be down bad. %, swing strike rate. All right. 5.1 xFIP, 5.5 Sierra. Batted ball. 23.5% hard hit rate. That's not terrible, but it's a 1-game sample size. Fastball sitting around 96. Backs it up with a slider and a changeup. 3-pitch pitcher. Let's see the Mets pitch report against the changeup. Solid slider, fastball, and meh. Bro, this guy looks bad. So we're second Mets. That's cool. David Peterson running back here. He's got a 26% K rate. Last season, a righties, 33% to lefties. One of those Francisco Liriano type guys for me, where he certainly has the strikeout potential, but he can also implode. High walk rate, a little bit of power, especially to lefties. So I don't know that I feel ultra inclined to get there against a team that I still respect. The Padres offense pretty good, and the slate does offer us several strong alternatives, and it's not even like, we're not pinned down with lack of upside pitching. So he might fall into the category of guys that don't make my pool. If you play him, you play him, but I'm probably not going to take that risk unless I was really trying to diversify, a mass amount of lineups. What's happening here? Fangraphs down, or am I down? I feel like we're good, right? Splits, game log, play discipline. Want that Padres Mets game to get down to 8.5. Take the over if it does. I don't know if it's gonna go down, but I guess we can look. Any prop locks? I haven't gone back and forth with the props yet. All right, so it must be a Fangraphs thing. For a second, I was thinking I was down. Peterson. Recrank the process here. I guess Fangraphs is having a burp. That's unfortunate. Alright. Don't think I'm going to get to Peterson too much. Bond detector in this game really likes Pete Alonso. Eduardo Escobar will always project incredibly well against lefties. I do want to look at Francisco Alvarez minor league stuff against lefties. Kind of hiding down there in that 9 spot, but he is one of the top prospects in all of baseball, so don't sleep on him. And I do believe we can look at the MLB. I think we looked at this the other day, and he was like 5th, but the people above him were already in the league, because we were looking at somebody else as one of the top prospects. Yeah, Alvarez is the #1 prospect in baseball right now. Because I guess they reshuffled the list. Yeah, we were researching Grayson. So now Walker, Volpe, both those guys are in the league. Francisco's in the league. So this guy will start to flourish, and I think we have an opportunity here to get some exposure to him while he's going to be 2,400, because he may not be that cheap for very long. But let's go look at his body of work in the minors against lefties. Really just in general, but lefties here. His career in the minors: 273 batting average, 384 OBP, 913 OPS. And then let's go 2022. We'll split them up. 296 average against lefties in the minors, 900 OPS, so that's good. How many bombs? 3 bombs and 54 at bats. We'll take that. And then against righties, 15 bombs, 109 at bats, 271 average. So yeah, if your projection models don't really give them enough credit down there, man, Erod and Escobar and Francisco, that's a really nice 1-2 punch against lefties. Heck, Tommy Pham too. There really is not a day off in this lineup. So like the Mets quite a bit. And then running it back, we'll get to some Padres. Padres should come in a little bit lower owned on this slate just because we do have cores. We have Blue Jays in their ridiculous run totals. Citi Field usually plays a little bit more hitter friendly, so we shouldn't have to sacrifice too much equity in our portfolios tonight to be over on the field on at least the Padres. I'm not sure where the field is thinking on the Mets, so we'll see. Let's move on. But I probably don't want to pitch Peterson, but it's one of those spots where I would understand if you did. Just because he does, it's kind of not quite as drastic as Heaney. I think Heaney's overall better, but Peterson has that strikeout potential, but he also has that implosion potential. Is anybody else struggling with Fangraphs right now? Move on to the next game. Reds and the Braves. So we do have lineups for both teams. Jonathan India, TJ Friedl, Jake Fraley, Tyler Stevenson, Will Myers, Jason Vossler, Spencer Steer, Kurt Casali, Jose Barrero, Luis Sessa on the bump, former Yankee great, Acuna, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Austin, Sean Murphy, Eddie Rosario's batting 5th. That's good. Ozzy's batting 6th. Orlando Arcia. 8-hole Marcel Ozuna. And batting 9th, Sam Hilliard. 5.5 run total for the Braves. 3.5 for the Reds. Man, we are dealing with some juicy run totals. Let's put Braves stack there because of that run total. Luis Sessa, sub 18% K rate last year, 20% or less the last 3 years running. Has had red and brown on the expected ERA in Sierra, but last year specifically pretty tough. 4.35 Sierra, 4.43 expected ERA, and a 9.3% barrel rate. Not what you want. Going against a pretty talented Braves team. Very few slates I end up not stacking the Braves. I mean, the barrel rates on 1 through 4 last year, 10% to 16%. That's pretty nutty, meaning that when they do make contact and there's a batted ball event, they are barreling the ball at over 1 in 10 clip, which is insane for baseball. In the bottom of the lineup, too. So, really strong spot for the Braves. Really bad spot for Luis Sessa. Kyle Wright's on the bump for Atlanta here last season, 3.89 expected ERA, buck 16 on the whip, 23.6% on the overall K rate. And let's see, against righties, K rate stayed about 23%. The K rate sustained on both sides. Last year, he was able to clean up his drastically low xFIPs from the 2 seasons prior. Brought his home run per 9 down a little bit. I guess there was a inflated because of the low sample size the last 2 seasons, but $1.25 on the home run to lefties. Ground ball rates fine and really good against righties last year, 63%. This lineup looks to be mostly righty with 3 lefties in it. So I do like that. Hard contact is kind of low. So looking at his metrics, it's telling us to worry about left-handed hitting more than righties. And the lefties that we have to worry about, TJ Friedl doesn't strike out a ton, shown a little bit of pop to begin the season. Jake Fraley, 851 OPS against righties the last 2 years, 219 ISO. And then Jason Vossler, who in small sample, 223 or 233 ISO. So if you guys aren't that scared of TJ Friedl, Jake Fraley, and Jason Vossler, I think Kyle Wright looks like a very clickable name today. Should he pick up where he left off last year? And I guess we can take a peek at this year, or at least we can try to take a peek at this year if Fangraphs is struggling. What up, Amazement? What up, Emerson? Hope you're doing all right. Mets are under own. That's good to know. Kyle Wright. I think Fangraphs is just down. So let's use the backup here. Look at Kyle Wright's individual pitches so far this season, and then hopefully Fangraphs won't be down for long. Oh, he hasn't pitched this season, or has he? That's convenient. Yeah, he hasn't pitched yet. So, has he pitched in the minors? Activated from a 15-day injured list after missing his first 2 turns through the rotation while rehabbing a shoulder injury. Wright's been cleared to make his season debut Tuesday versus the Reds in Atlanta. The right-hander's velocity was down during his lone rehab start last week at AAA Gwinnett, during which he allowed 5 runs over 6 frames. Yikes. With that in mind, fantasy managers might want to wait. All right, cool. So, how about spring training for Kyle Wright? If he threw in spring, I don't know that he did. Just six innings in spring, 10 hits, 4 homers. Is that real? Looking for a good first inning pitcher prop. Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna look at it. Oh, we do have a taco here. Why did Garrett Cole? Oh my gosh. I love Garrett Cole, but I don't know what the options were. I saw the alert on my phone. It was like Garrett Cole, strikeouts down. Which, yeah, 5.5 is really, really low for Garrett Cole. But I'm like, man, I hate taking K unders against the Guardians. First inning runs allowed props for you. Man, they make it really, really rough, huh? For a good first inning pitcher prop. Unless you mean like K's in the first inning or pitches thrown in the first inning. I don't need to screaming at me. I wish they would stay in the same game. Let's go MLB Live. Grayson Rodriguez, strikeout per inning against Oakland. That's doable. That's not on the main slate, though. I think Manoah 3 Ks in the first 3 innings. They don't really give you a chance to beat a hook. Scum dacking the Kyle Wright spot. I think that's fair. I don't like to go off with small sample, but sometimes small sample is all we have. And it looks like his spring outing didn't go great, which I normally wouldn't even scoff, like, you know what I mean, acknowledge it. And then it looks like his AAA outing last week didn't go great. So you gotta start somewhere. .3 on the whip. What was getting them in that game? Extremely small sample. Lefties. Looks like whoever the lefties were in this game did the damage. 4.2 innings against righties in that game. 2 hits, 4 Ks, 143 average allowed with a 3 ground out to air out ratio. So extremely small. But the lefties were giving him problems. 1.1 innings, 5 hits, 1 homer, 2 strikeouts, and then what we saw in the, it said 5 homers. Fangraphs is down. Yeah, we get it. I think one of them was Trevor Larnach from spring. So looking at last year's splits and the 3 years prior, he certainly has carried this problem with lefties, especially with power. Last year, he was able to fix the righty problem quite a bit. And I would say the righty problem is really not as drastic. It just looks drastic because of that 6.1 inning sample size, making that 2021 campaign look really bad. But again, Friedel, Fraley, Jason Vossler are the ops. So I'm oh man. I think in mass entry, right, 150, we get a little collar right towards the bottom. Maybe you throw some hedges in your back pocket here, but I get it. What was the case for righties? 4.2, we had 4 strikeouts, so almost a strikeout per inning. Not quite. We'll take it. Is the Texas stack lower owned tonight? I think in contrast to the field, yeah. I haven't looked at ownerships for the stacks themselves, but I would imagine that we'll see ownership on like a lot of the, like the Blue Jays have almost a 6-run total. Mets are up there with a 5. Braves over 5.5. The Wrigley wind game is here. We got Coors. So I think the Rangers could slip through the cracks. Maybe there's not a ton of coagulation when it comes to ownership. Let's move on. White Sox and the Twins. Lineups here. We got Twins lineup. Donovan Solano, Donnie Barrels. Batting leadoff for the Twins. Byron Buxton batting second. Trevor Larnach, Jose Miranda, Nick Gordon, Kyle Farmer batting sixth. Matt Wallner, Christian Vasquez, Michael A. Taylor. So that's your confirmed Twins lineup. Pitching, Lance Lynn for the White Sox, Pablo Lopez for the Twins. Waiting on that White Sox lineup, but White Sox have a 3.4 run total. Twins are at 409. This is one of the lower game totals on the slate, and both pitchers are completely serviceable. Able to, they have good run prevention. Last year, 3.62 xFIP for Lance Lynn, 3.75. Expected ERA, not xFIP. 3.75 expected ERA for Pablo. Both pitchers around a 24% K rate. Good pitchers, right? And then I would imagine that Minnesota probably plays as one of the cooler parts. No, 75 degrees, so not cool at all. So with Pablo, we worry about lefties. Last 3 seasons, under a 20% K rate to lefties. Last season specifically, 18.3%. 249 average allowed. Home run per 9 was over 1. And now we put him out here in target outside in the elements. Might want to keep that in mind. And see if that 4.2 xFIP comes to play. And we'll see if that White Sox lineup comes out lefty. They could throw out Benintendi, Moncada, Gavin Sheets, Yasmani Grandal, and Colas and go half-half, and that would make it pretty rough. If they come out a little bit more righty-heavy, we know Pablo Lopez has some extreme splits where he's carried a 30+% K rate to righties the last couple years, which has made him usable in the right spot against righty-heavy lineups. So this one seems like a neutral lineup for that split, so nothing to overreact to. 7,300, I do think there's some wiggle room for some upside and a cushion for an average game. Lance Lynn, 9K on DraftKings, 8,800 on Fanduel. We're going to look at both of these pitchers' recent pitch counts. Lance Lynn's a dog. 96, 99 pitches his first 2 outings. Hasn't gone 6 innings yet, but certainly has the bullets in the chamber to do so. And then Pablo has gone 88, 85 pitches, both of those games, reaching pretty deep. So is Fangraphs back up yet? Come on, Fangraphs. We believe. It's a pretty unfortunate time for Fangraphs to crash, eh? When's the last time Brandon Belt hit a home run? It's been a minute. He's due, is what you're saying. Bro, there's hearts. Anybody else seen that? There's like hearts in the chat. That's pretty cool. How's this happening? What's doing that? Oh, shout out to hearts and 100s. Almost hit yesterday. Just missed C's fantasy score. Dang. When was the last time Brandon? All right, so I guess we'll go back to Baseball Savant and do it the new fashioned way. Looking at both pitchers. Overall, 2023 Lance Lynn. Expected average allowed is 290. That's not what you want. Expected slugging 648. That's not what you want. Woba allowed 452. Expected Woba is a little bit better. Hard hits at 45%. 9.5 expected ERA. So that's all bad. That's not what you want. So that makes me a little bit more trepidatious to click his name. We look at the Twins here. I guess Byron Buxton's always going to have a high grade in the bomb detector, but today, 3.94 against Lance Lynn, maybe not the number I would have guessed, but looking at what we just looked at, I guess it makes sense. No Correa in the lineup. It's kind of a watered down Twins lineup, so I don't want to get too stuck on how bad Lynn's metrics look. But if you're into substacks or maybe some one-offs, maybe activate Buxton to be able to fall here and there. And then Pablo, pulling up Pablo's stats from this season. It's an emoji button on here. I've never seen that before. Oh, they're from mobile. Okay, well, shout out to everybody hanging out on mobile. We're turning into a TikTok stream all of a sudden. 2023, he has pitched to a 239 expected batting average, 378 expected slugging, 301 expected WOBA, 35% hard hit rate, 3.75 expected ERA. So, that was last season. 2.32 expected ERA this season with a 36% K rate. 267 expected slugging. So this seems like it's potentially unsustainable, but it's a great start. So it would be really nice if the White Sox offered up a few more lefties, or excuse me, a few more righties. KC and Miami first two starts, I could see how those numbers are that high. So like strength of schedule was certainly on his time, on his side. We know his time in Miami. Pitched well in that park, so some regressions do, but those numbers are really, really good. So I guess I'll wait on the White Sox lineup before making a definitive stand on Pablo. I think right now him and Lance Lynn are probably going to be stashed in like the back end of 150 and probably get to him like 10% max, maybe, expecting less than 10%. But otherwise it's a plus game total versus the field, and both guys have that upside. No conviction. No conviction. Twins have one stolen base. Yikes. Gun, can you give your top pitcher and top stack for the Turbo Slate on DraftKings? The Turbo Slate. Let's see what that looks like. All right, understand this is like no research, right? Pull up labs. Turbo Slate on DraftKings. Wow. There's some good pitching on this slate. Man, this is really good pitching. Grayson Rodriguez against the Double-A team. Christian Javier, we know his potential. Maybe on the road hurts, I don't know. Jesus Luzardo in the bandbox could be a problem. Aaron Nola's a really, really good pitcher. Shane McClanahan's a beast. I'd probably just go opposite ownership here. refresh. That's a tough nut to crack, man. There's a lot of good pitching today. Turbo. Grayson and Shane McClanahan. Yeah, that makes sense. Pretty much agree with this hierarchy. Maybe Nola should be a little bit higher on him, but yeah. Who would I pick on? I think the Rays are going to start coming back down to earth a little bit because their strength of schedule is going to get a little bit better, but the Red Sox aren't like fantastic. But the Rays are just being steamed right now, and just like, man, look at their Tigers, Athletic. I mean, their first 3 series are incredibly favorable. I like the idea of Citizens Bank Park being home run friendly. Lizardo can give up bombs to righties, so Trey Turner, Realmuto, Casty, even Schwarber I wouldn't hate. So maybe the Phillies stand out as a park play, and then the Orioles. So Phillies, Orioles, and I agree with the pitching combo. Maybe Grayson. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. But Phillies and Orioles would be probably the 2 teams or offenses I start with. That's tough. Freeman or Betts hitter fantasy scorer. Took Mueller on strikeouts too. All right. Yeah, Rays have been in the favorable box. What up, Adam? I hope you're doing all right. Twins are 4th from the bottom of MLB in slugging though this season early. Yeah, looking at this Twins lineup, it's very watered down. I mean, just looking at the last 2 years with broadening the sample size this season, there's only one guy in this lineup that has over a 200 ISO against righties. It's really, really bad. So I'm willing to expect Lance Lynn to progress in the right way. So I certainly am not here to put anyone off of Lance Lynn. This is a bad lineup for power. A little bit more scrappy through and through with a couple K guys that, or a couple guys you have to earn Ks against, and then the averages are decent. But the power, definitely not there. It hasn't been there. Rays are going to be 11-0 after tonight. Yeah, I mean, you should win the McClanahan start. But it's all right. We'll give them a piece of humble pie when they come see us. You know what I'm saying? Pull up. Just kidding. Did we get a White Sox lineup? No. All right. Let's move on to the next game. Did we add anything from this game? Manoah, right? Lynn and Pablo all make sense here. Let's just Lance Lynn, Pablo Lopez. I'm gonna say Savant says no. And we'll revisit that. Fangraphs are still struggling. We back. We loading. Man, this is literally the most unfortunate time for Fangraphs to go down. But it's okay. White Sox lineup came out. All right. What do we got? We got Benintendi, Luis Robert, Gavin Sheets batting 3rd, Andrew Vaughn. So no Moncada? Is that what I'm saying? Andrew Vaughn, Yasmani Grandal, Jake Berger, Oscar Colas, Romy Gonzalez, and Elvis Andrews. This lineup sucks. They still put lefties in there. Benintendi, it's going to be a hard strikeout no matter what. You just got to let whatever happens, happens. Gavin Sheets, a little more power. Grandal has just been meh the last 2 seasons, right? So it's a lineup with no Timmy, no Moncada. No, they're pretty banged up. So this is certainly not your A lineup from either the Twins or the White Sox. So it's another bump for both pitchers, which also explains the run total here, right? So yeah, we'll keep Pablo and Lynn in the tier 3 mix. Pablo might have to earn these Ks a little bit more, but a good little lane down here. What is Kyle Wright's pitch count? I don't know. But so far, his outings in AAA and in spring training have not been good. So they may just be trying to get 5 innings out of him. Mariners and the Cubs, next game on the docket. So this is a little bit of a win game here. We do have a Mariners lineup out. J-Rod, Ty France, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, Teoscar Hernandez, Jared Kelenic, Colton Wong. If playing Colton's Wong, I don't want to be right. Tommy LaStella, JP Crawford. So no AJ Pollock, but that's fine. You expect him to be a platoon guy anyway. And Cubs lineup is not out. All right. Hayden Wesneski taking on Chris Flexen on my haters. Flexen a 16% K rate last year, 1.3 whip, 4.62 on the expected ERA. None of that is what you want. Also an elevated fly ball rate, 49% to righties, 42% to lefties. Hard contact is respectable, but could be better against righties. Really good against lefties. And then Wesneski on the bump here for the Cubs. Last year, 2.18 expected ERA in 33 innings pitched, 25% K rate, 11.7% swing strike rate. All that's really good. But the Mariners have a run total of 5+. In his first outing, 4.2 innings against the aforementioned Cincinnati Reds. 2 bombs allowed, just 4 strikeouts, 6 hits allowed, and 2 walks. So not good for the whip. Less than a strikeout per inning, kind of. And a 6-to-5 fly ball or ground ball to fly ball ratio. Fangraphs. Are you there? Not there. That's fine. So let's go to Baseball Savant. Wesneski. What has happened? Westchester sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Colas the taco now. Yeah, I see that. I'm a little unnerved by strikeout props against the Guardians, but Garrett Cole's Garrett Cole, right? This year, he's giving up a 14% barrel rate, 36% sweet spot percentage, 377 expected WOBA, so should come down. 562 expected slugging. I like these mouse overs. 35.7% hard hit rate, 20% K rate, 10% walk rate, a 6.19 expected ERA. So a little bit rough considering it was the Cincinnati Reds. But I do think he's overall somebody we should expect to be good based on what we saw in broader sample last season. We'll go look at his minor league numbers. Career in the minors, 3.68 ERA, 269 innings pitched, 287 innings, so more than a K per inning, 1.16 on the whip. And we'll see if he had some split issues that were developed or that we've seen continue in the major league level. Yep. .54 innings against lefties, 18 walks, yikes, 47 strikeouts. So it looks like might be the righties where we're picking up the Ks here. 59 Ks and 55 innings to righties. 1 homer in 55 innings to righties. 9 and 54 to lefties. 241 average, a 1.27 ground out to air out ratio, and a $1.25 on the whip. So there is certainly an argument here that lefties will give him more fits for power long term, even though he didn't give up a homer last year to a lefty in 33 innings. The minor league number says that these numbers might be due to flip. Either way, Mariners with the win boost here, and this bullpen not really being that menacing in this run total. checks a lot of boxes here, and I'm willing to go back to the well here. Burned me last night. Nobody's projecting extremely well for his bomb detector using the numbers we have from Wisniewski last year. And then for the Cubs against Flexen, this one's rough because in no way will I ever pitch Chris Flexen ever. I just won't. But the Cubs are just not. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, look at this team. It's so bad. So this might be the sub stack, the 2-man or the 3-mans, or just cherry picking here. Bomb detector says, hey, take a look at Patrick Wisdom. And I guess that makes a lot of sense, right? This is one of those Zunino-esque numbers where if you can get a guy who clearly has power, but he struggles making contact. Patrick Wisdom has a 14.5% barrel rate. He's got a 403 rating on the bomb detector, but he also has a 35.6% K rate. So he's stashed in the bottom of the order. Hit it out if you can. All right, Chris Carter. Chris Flexen, just a 14% K rate to righties with a single-digit swing and strike rate. So certainly a matchup that Wisdom is more likely to make contact with the baseball, and Flexen has almost a 50% fly ball rate to righties when they're making batted ball events. So it's a really good spot for Wisdom to send one over the basket, right? So I do like that. So Cubs are just one of those teams I probably won't full stack, but if I walked into some Wisdom, maybe some Belly, some Hap, I don't want to name too many names here, but I can get it. I won't touch Chris Flexen. What up, Dominique? What's your top 2 pitchers on DraftKings? Ooh, we're trying to discover that. Jacob deGrom, for sure. And I swear, if I yesterday fading Andrew Heaney was like my bold stand of the day, and then he goes nuclear. If I fade Heaney, he goes nuclear, and then I full send DeGrom, and DeGrom gets smacked, I'm gonna be so perturbed. It's not even funny. But I think DeGrom's easily number 1. Fine with Ohtani, right? So the pricing probably has this one right. If we get past some smaller sample hiccups in advanced metrics, Alek Manoah against a really bad Tigers team makes a lot of sense. And then we've looked at Lance Lynn and Pablo Lopez against watered-down versions of their opposing team lineups. Cool. But if I had to just grab two guys to build on, it's probably going to be DeGrom and Ohtani, as not contrarian as that would be. But I'd rather be contrarian with my hitters on a slate like this anyway. Or any slate, really. Free hot take Raj. Raj be in the Discord. He's in Ontario? Whatever province in Canada that banned DFS. He's in there. So he doesn't really bring much to the table in terms of being able to put his money where his mouth is. But he's in the Discord every day talking LeBron. How's 10-mile-an-hour winds a Wrigley wind game? 10 miles, nothing for winds. Man, Wrigley's different. It's definitely one of the more sensitive parks for winds. And, you know, Chicago, I don't know if 10 is just like the sustained wind with higher gust, but it's still a boost. That part doesn't need many boosts, but it's still a boost. But yeah, we're going to get days where wind looks like 18, 20 miles an hour out, right? So, yeah. Shannon shaking fist at cloud. Let's move on. Chicago. I guess Royals and Rangers. So I think Cruzy posted it in chat. That Rangers will wear white jerseys and blue caps on Tuesday. The Globe Life Field roof will be open. So, roof open in Texas. Typically a boost for hitting. But Jacob deGrom is not a boost for hitting. Corey Seager, Nate Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, Jonah Heim batting 7th. Travis Jankowski moving on up. Yeah, I played Jankowski yesterday strictly as a guy that can get on base, steal some bags. And before this guy even had a stolen base, he had like 26 fantasy points or something stupid on Fanduel, and then he stole the bag. So shout out to Travis Jankowski. Barebones min today on DraftKings. Pretty cheap on Fanduel as well. Jordan Lyles on the bump. Big contact pitcher. 4.94 expected ERA. Last season, 5.4 expected ERA. The season prior, about a 10% cumulative barrel rate. The last 320, 340 innings. So definitely a guy we don't want to pitch. We want to pick on him. And he has allowed just a lot of action, especially to righties. 1.75 home run per nine last 2 years. Two lefties, not righties, excuse me. And then last year, his righty home run per nine dropped under one, but you got to remember that's when Camden brought out the fence, pushed back the left field wall. So I don't think that the batted ball data says that he got better. I just think the environment got better for him, right? The year prior, the 2 years prior, 2+ home run per nine. And we look at the batted ball data, his fly ball rate to righties went up 4% from the season prior. I guess the hard contact rate did dip like 10%. So that's going in his direction. But I don't think that in any other part, like I think it was more of just Camden stealing homers from righties. So there's a way we can quantify that. And it's on the Baseball Savant page. This is a fun little. Okay, I might have scrolled past it. Here it is. So last year, 26 homers allowed by Jordan Lyles because of Camden. If he would have pitched every game in this stadium today, he would have allowed 38 homers. That is insane. Like, that is incredible. 39 in cores. So yeah, I don't think that it was anything other than just a Park Plus. So today with the roof open, he should struggle. So I do think the Ranger stack makes a ton of sense here. And then obviously we gotta play Jacob deGrom because he's probably the best pitcher on the planet. So we'll put Rangers in the stack list. We'll put deGrom up there. Not much we need to research on deGrom. He's just ridiculous. The only thing you might be worried about with deGrom is where's his pitch count actually at. Last game he got to 92. That's all we need to know. That's 6 innings. That's likely going to be double-digit strikeouts against this version of against the Royals, who we saw yesterday. Andrew Heaney was able to just mow them down in the projected lineup, just past Cantino, Nicky Lopez with low teen K percentages, a lot of 1 and 4s or better. So elite spot for Jacob deGrom. Ridiculous price on DraftKings, under 10K. I mean, this man, if he was 13K, I mean this. If Jacob deGrom's 13.5K on DraftKings today, he's still my highest owned pitcher. So this is a ridiculous price at 9.9. No Jordan Lyles, yes, and not stacking Royals. That's pretty easy. Seager gonna catch a heater, so liking Corey tonight for sure. Yeah, there's nobody in this lineup I wouldn't play. I mean, you might be worried with some maybe some platoon pinch hits in the bottom of the lineup for the Rangers, like Brad Miller or something like that, but pre-flop everybody is in play, and then 1 through 4 makes a lot of sense. And Jankowski, I just love the ability for him to get on and just make points, you know. Let's move on. Where are we at on likes? 48 likes. You guys vibing out? Maybe haven't done it yet. Hit that like button. We lost a subscriber. I'm over here tracking how many subs we gained. We're actually -1. Our net rating just went down. Did I say something offensive? All right, looks like Fangraphs is back up. That's timely. Appreciate that. All right, let's get to deGrom and Cole over 16 Ks. Man, see, I don't want to get the Guardians are a scrappy team, man. I don't want to get you guys stuck on Garrett Cole here, because I completely understand that the Guardians, they're not a free strikeout team, you know. Cardinals and the Rockies. Shannon says, bro, who is the intern at DraftKings that priced the Cardinals? Yeah, there's certainly been some neglected pricing, not just for Coors, but all the way through. We got Brendan Donovan leading off. We do have Coors lineups, so that's good. Tommy Edman in the 2 spot. Goldie, oh my God, Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Tyler O'Neill, Jordan Walker batting 7th, Juan Yepez, Taylor Motter. I don't know that there's a lineup. It's oof. It's funny that they lead off with a lefty here, but death, taxes, Cardinals against left-handed pitching. You're not gonna not look at this. Look at this nonsense. Goldie through Tyler O'Neill, 250 plus ISO, gets to the 300s when you get to Arenado and Goldie. I mean, this is death. So, Jesus, both sites, yeah, not hard to get to the Cardinal stack at all, which is crazy because the Cardinals have a 7 implied run total. It's just berserk. Rockies lineup: Profar, Chris Bryant, Charlie Blackmon has the day off, Ryan McMahon, CJ Crone, Mike Moustakas, the Moose is loose. Hello, I am Elias. Elias Montero, Jonathan Daza, and Ezekiel. Ezekiel and Elias in the lineup together. So without Blackmon, it goes without saying that the Rockies lineup doesn't look as fun, but still a lot of 170 plus ISOs. You like to see 200 plus, feel better. And Miles Michaelis being a contact guy in Coors, not what you want. Sub 20% K rate this season, 3.89, or excuse me, last season 3.89 expected ERA last season, and kind of been rough out of the gate. I think we'll look up his numbers. Look at this Fangraph. Oh my God. Oh my God. But we've been picking on Michaelis out the gate too, to his discredit or dismay or whatever. Blue Jays and Braves being your first 2 games, yeah, okay, cool. 9% swinging strike rate against Toronto, 12.2% against Atlanta. Had an 89% first pitch strike. That's incredible. Throwing strikes, man. We're not here to nibble. And this xFIP combined 3.34, so that's really, really good. Hard contact rate, it was manageable. Ground ball rate, not as high as you would want. 37% line drive rate, that's a problem in Coors Field. And yeah, infield hit is at 18%, but that's from the Atlanta game. So contact guy in Coors, obviously I have no reason to want to pitch him, but I guess the question is how do we feel about a Rocky stack? Because you can probably get them at a decent ownership considering what's all on the table, and you take out a guy like Charlie Blackmon, and it does make this lineup even more contrite, right? So I think we obviously have to add him to the stack list here. Man, what to do with the Cardinals? Let's go look at some hitter ownership. Arenado, Goldie at 30% apiece. Is that the only Cardinals that have crazy ownership? Oh no, Wilson Contreras. So these 3 guys and Tommy Edman. Yikes, man. I guess the same approach as yesterday. If we want to get to some Cardinals, probably have to mix in as best we can some lower owned guys. But man, is the cash game lineup make itself right now. Let me see something. If we did DeGrom, Ohtani, and then at least Arenado, Goldie, put a little bit of randomness. Let's do 70. Doesn't really struggle against this line. As a matter of fact, it gives us more Cardinals. So the 4-man Cardinal stack with Shohei and DeGrom. And then you get Cal Raleigh in Wrigley with the win in a plus spot. A leadoff Akil Baddoo. Maybe you don't want him, but we've talked about Alec Manoah's struggles. So you get a 5-man, dude. You can get a 5-man Cardinal stack. Wilson Contreras, Goldie, literally 1 through 5, with the 2 best pitchers on the slate. And then you throw in Jankowski. Like, this is stupid. DraftKings pricing takes a L. Like I said, I would literally pay $13.5K for Jacob deGrom today, and he's 9.9. That's so dumb. But we're all playing with the same deck of cards. Let's get caught up in chat. Took Goldie yesterday and hit. Goldie fantasy score yesterday. Yeah, I mean, how much damage can we do with these Cardinals? Sheesh. They don't offer much. Goldie, Arenado fantasy, I'd be fine with that, right? Expecting damage. That's probably the only way to get here is these 2 fantasy props. I don't like how they're splitting it up like they are. You shouldn't be able to stack DeGrom, Ohtani, and Corey. You shouldn't. You really should not. That's probably the most dumb thing. What's up, Sean? Love how you stream in this 3 to 5 window before the other shows. Doing a great job. I appreciate that. It is on purpose that I stream. Usually when I do. I don't like to go opposite the homies. And then I don't want to, you guys, you're not really going to grow if you go opposite the big dogs anyway. But, yeah, man, I'm glad that we could fill some gaps. You're on Lynn that part. That's cool. I don't mind them. What is Rocky's ownership? Oh, yeah, we went there to look at Rocky's ownership, didn't we? Colorado. So almost no ownership on the Rockies. Like Mike Moustakas, Brian McMahon. I'm not even into Moustakas like that. So you can make well with some Rockies exposure and not even really have to give up too much. All right, Nats and the Angels. Next game on the docket. I'm still waiting on lineups for this game, I think. Yeah. We've got 3.1 run total for the Nationals, 5.6 for the Angels. Josiah Gray taking on Shohei Ohtani. Josiah Gray has not been great. Picking up where he left off last year, where if he ain't striking you out, you're probably getting a hit, and you got a good shot at getting a homer, right? 6 Ks and 6 innings against the Rockies. 4 Ks and 5 innings against Atlanta, 7 hits, 8 hits. So certainly been some unbridled talent. I was listening yesterday, and it's like this season, you let Patrick Corbin go out there and do whatever he wants every 5 days. Whatever happens, happens. But you want to build Josiah Gray, you want to build Mackenzie Gore. But man, Gray has been a project. Because the swing and miss stuff is good. I think, me personally, the problem, I guess it's a little bit better, was his pitch mix. But now he's got 4 pitches in the blender here. The velo is not great. 93.6 average mile an hour on the fastball velocity. That usually doesn't play too well in the big league level. So versus last year, 94.5. So last year he didn't have that cutter. So he's added a cutter. Has that been a plus move for him? Let's see. Nobody. Josiah Gray. Cutter this year has a 281. Oh, fudge. I guess he threw a cutter last year, but just one. This year, Cutter has a 364 expected batting average, a 993 expected slug. That's not good. It's his worst pitch, but in terms of expected slug, that's crazy. Hey, let me start using another pitch that is worse than all these other pitches that I'm already struggling with. Huh? Who knew? 40% whiff percentage on that fastball. Trace Thompson. What up, Bao? What up, Bert? What up, big hitter? Who's going yard tonight? Added bonus for you, Alec Manoah. Is my sneaky low on play tonight. Let's go. He's not, I mean, I know you're joking, but he's not top 2 in ownership, right? He's third. As far as who's going yard, here's the most obvious home run on the day. Who's going yard tonight? Number 1 in the bomb detector. Shohei Ohtani. Joke's on us. We can't play him. Yay, DraftKings. Yay, Fanduel. But yeah, this is a literal dream spot for the batted ball data, the batted ball profiles of Ohtani and Josiah Gray to meet and create sweet, sweet home run love. And you can't play him. Not pitching Josiah Gray, Shohei Ohtani, yes. The Nats, I think they play a little bit more scrappy to lefties and righties. Look at that, yeah. So I'm more interested in Ohtani. I do think the Nats are a little bit unsung with their scrappiness, but yeah, should be a great Ohtani performance. Should be one of those 8 innings pitched, 15 Ks. Ohtani, Trout combined for 5 homers as the Angels lose 7-6 type of games, right? Jake Lambbaum, Ohtani's pitching. Yeah, I know he's pitching, but he's also hitting. And it's like kind of laughable that we're this deep into his career, a couple years in, and we haven't created Ohtani pitcher, Ohtani hitter. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the season-long leagues do. Why can't we do it? It's not that hard. What up, Andy? What up, Big Bino? What up, Willie? Same game parlay, Ohtani and Jake Lamb homer. Lamb is a 3.88 rating in the bottom sector. Yeah, I guess we just want to make sure he's in the lineup, but he should be. Varsho going yard too. Let's go. What up? What's good, Gun? Can't wait to have my first takedown today. Stacking the Tigers. Let's go, Bino. Talk your... Hey, man. Manoah's his metrics, you know, there's some cause for concern. But the Tigers kind of suck, so, you know. Oof. Angel stack in the list. Shohei. I think we have to create separation here. Jacob deGrom, best pitcher on the planet. We'll do that, and we'll put Shohei as a tier 2. Capiche? We have 2 more games. So, we're at 60 likes, 150 viewers. I think we can get to 80. So if you guys want to hit that like button, that'd be appreciated by me. We do have a lineup for the Arizona D-backs. Josh Rojas, Ketel Marte, Pavin Smith, Evan Longoria. No Christian Walker tonight. Corbin Carroll, Jake McCarthy, Gabriel Moreno, Alec Thomas, and Geraldo Perdomo. All right, cool. Green light that. We got Corbin Burns on the bump against Merrill Kelly. So Corbin Burns has certainly been really rough out of the gate. His ownership has dropped to just 5% in the shadows of so many other pitchers today, and I get it. He has been really, really bad. But man, is that such a low number to see on a guy like Corbin, and you feel like you should find it. Let's look at the swing and miss potential from the first couple games. A 4% and an 8% swing and strike rate. Terrible. And this is what I was saying with Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish has been like 6-4, something like that, right? You need to miss bats, right? Average fastball velocity, 95.4. Last season, it was about 96. So we were worried about that in spring training. Looks like it's not as far off, and maybe he's going to develop a little bit more and find it. Cutter, he's throwing 54% of the time. Last season, he threw the cutter 55. Average velocity, 95. It's losing 1.5 to 2 on that. Curveball, changeup. So pitch mix is similar, but for whatever reason, the results are not what you want. 5.5 on the XFIP so far. Ground ball rates at 57%. So that's a net plus, I guess. Let's go look at his Savant. Remember when Burns didn't walk people? Yeah. I don't know, man. I think you guys tracking some off-season drama. The Brewers were taking Burns to arbitration. And it's like, oh, really? This is like one of the best pitchers in baseball. And they were fighting him on money, and it was such a dumb fight because Corbin Burns, if Corbin Burns was unrestricted free agent at the end of last season, he'd be one of the biggest storylines in baseball. So it's just kind of crazy that they were fighting him like that. So when his results are like rough, I'm just like, man, does he not care? Did that distract him long enough for him to, you know what I mean? So far this season, expected slug on his sinker has been a problem. That's only been thrown 8 times. And his slider, 673 expected slug, thrown 23 times. Spin rate. All right, let's see. Cutter spin rate this season, 2,700. Last season, it was at... So spin rate's actually up. Curveball, 2,761. Curveball's up. Changeup, 2,050. The spin rate is actually up for like all of his pitches. The whiff percentage, you would want to be maybe a little bit higher on the cutter and the changeup versus what it was last year. But like, there's still hope here. So for him to be at 5% owned, man, got me looking. You know what I'm saying? Got me looking. Tougher lineup, I guess, in terms of strikeouts. Some scrappiness here. Gabriel Moreno, Ketel Marte, a couple guys that will K. I'm interested just because of the projected ownership, if that makes sense. Like, if I can get a hey, remember me Burns game at 5% owned, and I could be at like 12% of that, you know what I mean? I think that would be fun. So if that holds up, I'm gonna keep Burns in the rotation. Here, what up, Beast? Merrill Kelly, pitcher for the D-backs. Not really a guy I ever play. 3.62 expected ERA last year, 22% K rate. Brewers got smoked yesterday. This lineup gives us Willy Adames, William Contreras, Garrett Mitchell as guys with elevated strikeout rates. But I think Merrill Kelly he's unremarkable to me, so he just kind of falls through the cracks. But it's also one of those guys, if you had a Merrill Kelly in your lineup, I probably wouldn't talk you off of it. I wish you would. How do you feel about a Blue Jays and Mariners stack? Yeah, I have both teams in my stack list. Ownership-wise, you may not be too contrarian, but I also don't think you're too hands-holdy. Because I think the Cardinals at 30% for 3 or 4 guys is just such a crazy head start to be anti the chalk here. Back-to-back starts against the Dodgers, 11.5% swing and strike rate, 55% first pitch strike. So nothing abnormal. XFIP through the roof, 5.6. Strength of schedule should be appreciated. And 12 hard hit balls, 2 barrels. So, yeah, nothing crazy. Nothing I want to run to pick on. Nothing I want to run to pitch. Just is. It just is. What's the upside on Burns? What bat does it allow you to get with DeGrom or Ohtani? The upside is just if we get a floor game from somewhere else and Burns goes nuts. And again, this is extreme range of outcomes. We expect DeGrom to go bananas. We expect Ohtani to be good. But DeGrom is a blister, roof open, you know what I mean? Some bad defense, so some luck. So if those guys like 50% own, you got massive floor game because DeGrom got rolled or something. Brandon, thank you for the sub. And then you have a 5% on Corbin Burns, who you don't have to give up a ton of equity. But I'm with you. If I had 20 or less lineups, I'm not seeing it in Corbin Burns in the first 2 games. We were just kind of expecting him to find it because analyzing the pitches individually, like the spin rates are there. The velo is a little bit lower this year than last year. So it is what it is, but just kind of expect a guy like Corbin Burns to find it going forward. But it's more of a long-term play in mass entry than single entry or anything like that. What up, Brandon? I'm new to this. Is the best strategy for tournaments a 5-man stack plus a 3-man stack or 3 one-offs? Yes, on the 5-man stack for DraftKings. You can do plus 3 or one-offs. I think I've had decent success with either. But if you're just trying to be more uniform, you can do 5-3s. I think that would be a great start. Josh Rojas is 5.1K on DraftKings. He's more expensive than Ketel Marte in his own lineup. Yeah, the pricing on DraftKings has been really, really rough lately. And the walks, the walks are certainly a problem for Burnsy. Trying to lose my voice there. The pricing was a thing, yeah. And I don't know what I don't really care about pricing anyway. Just because I don't have a min salary or anything. Like sometimes I'll have lineups with 12, 15K left on the table. That doesn't matter to me. But when your pricing is this atrocious, and if you guys just stumbled in here, we were able to build with ease DeGrom, Ohtani, and 1 through 5 of the Cardinals lineup. Like that should not be possible. Like if nothing else, pricing will at least make the single entries or the cash games be a little bit softer's not the word, but a little bit more competitive. You shouldn't be able to do that on a slate this big. So pricing's important, but it is something I don't care about as far as lineup construction, if that makes sense. Look at his first pitch strike. So Burns has had, in that first game against the Cubs, a 70% first pitch strike. The second game was really bad. But he even walked a lot of people in that first game. So we expect that to regress, right? And then the batted ball data, the BABIP, 290 BABIP is actually where it should be. Yeah, I don't know. Hard fading Manoah against the Tigers. Not me. Oh, genius. Yeah. But I could justify it. I'm only entering single entry to get my feet wet. So I would say in single entry, how do I say this? Lineup construction in single entry or cash game doesn't have to be a stack. Matter of fact, it's probably minus EV to full stack in cash, unless it's like an obvious spot like the Cardinals. When you're full stacking, you're basically just abolishing the floor, right, and full sending the ceiling. So you're hoping that stack just goes berserk and that team 10 plus runs. And when you do that, you give up every other team in the league, right? So if I was playing single entry, small field, I'd probably be a little bit more handcuffy than full sending stacks. But full stacks is usually what you see at the top of mass full tournaments because people are able to spray and pray X amount of lineups that can go after the full ceilings, right? You have almost no floor with the full stack and a ridiculous ceiling if they go bananas. So if you're just playing single entry, I would say don't feel as convicted to have to run a 5-3. Maybe gravitate towards 4 guys from a stack you like, and then go grab a couple individual hitters in really good spots. That way you raise your floor a little bit more. But that's just me. This pricing pushes everyone to the same builds. Chalk or so. Yeah, it like the Cardinals today at 30% owned. The only reason you don't play them is because they're 30% owned, right? Like everything about the matchup is nutty. Like there used to be a time where the Coors tax was ridiculous. And you open up a slate like today where the Cardinals have a lefty and everyone's over 6K, or like at least Goldie and Arenado. They should be 6K plus hitters today, and they're not. And then even the rest of the guys, there should be a Coors tax, and it used to be like that, but it's not anymore, and I don't really know why. Last year was really bad, but like Goldie. This isn't a tax. Goldie is probably 5.6 in any park against Freeland. Same with Arenado. So it's one thing to say, okay, man, this is still a 20% owned stack, and do I be contrarian? But man, it's just so free. And the same with the pitching. DeGrom is too cheap. So hopefully they tighten it up. But in the inverse is if somehow that stack failed, the profitable approach is let the field have their 30% owned team when there's 10 games or whatever, 19 teams out there, and you just hope that is a mid result, an average result, or it just flops, or it's just in the shadows of a incredible outburst game from another team. And that's what I did the other night, where I just I gave the field 2 teams that gave them 40% combined ownership, and I just took everyone else. So you are going against what the research says, but DFS research only matters so much when it comes down to playing the probabilities versus ownership versus what the field is doing, because you want to be unique. And oh god, I've gone cross-eyed. Trevor Larnack double dong, you like that? Like Manoa and May. All right, cool. What up, Charles? You're all right. We got one game left to talk about. Then we'll field anything else that you guys might have. I want to remind you guys want to get this spreadsheet for your own research sake. You want to see what my player pool is looking like, what my ownerships are looking like, the pitch report, BVP if you care about it, bullpen usage is pretty important. It all is contained in the MLB VIP spreadsheet behind the paywall. RunDFS.com. Click yourself VIP memberships. Come down here. Find something that's right for you. Every membership comes with a voucher towards Fantasy Cruncher, the optimizer I use. $100 voucher towards the season-long one for MLB, and then $150 for the rest of the year. So if you have some interest in using Fantasy Cruncher and some interest in getting premium access to the spreadsheets, you might find some value in that. You also will unlock the RunDFS.com Discord. So when you do upgrade, afterwards you can click VIP portal. You'll see the links. You also get the link to this baby right here, the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. Last night we hung out in voice for a couple hours watching the games. If you know, you know, right? And we were watching the games. The MLB TV 4-wide. It was pretty fun. We might do that a little bit tonight as well, since it's some night games. But then tomorrow the day games happen again. So I'll be in the voice chat no matter what in about maybe an hour and a half before lock. So if you guys want to talk some strategy, talk some plays, or debate LeBron James when Rod shows up, you're more than welcome to join us. Let's get some lineups punched in. If you guys want to do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. 100 seems like an ambitious goal, but it's certainly an attainable goal with 170 live viewers. So I would appreciate you guys smacking that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you like this type of talk, man, hit that sub button. We gained 5 subs since we lost one, so we're 2 subs away from a nice round 6-2-4-0. Main event tonight, the Los Angeles Dodgers up against the San Francisco Giants. We got Dustin May, we got Alex Wood. Dodgers 4.8 on the run total. The Giants 3.9. 55 degrees out there in Oracle. 2 solid pitchers. Dustin May, last season 3.67 expected ERA, 1.17 on the whip. Alex Wood, $1.25 on the whip, but the other metrics are serviceable, right? The 4 expected ERA was better than his 5.1 ERA, so he was pretty unlucky last year. And then I think through a couple starts for combined for both these guys, we've seen just fine pitching, right? 13 innings out of May, back-to-back starts. Against the D-backs, 9 strikeouts, throwing a lot of strikes. Maybe pitch count at 83, 84. You would like to see that about 95, but still usable. And then Alex Wood, a couple starts under his belt, or just 1 start. 3 innings against the White Sox, strikeout per inning, 71 pitches, 2 walks, 6 hits allowed. So not what you want. Let's go look at the advanced metrics of Wood in that game to see if he is just the unluckiest guy that ever did luck, or because the White Sox do have a good team against lefties. If it was their like Robert Anderson, McCott, you know what I mean? 8.5% swinging strike rate that game. A coin flip on first pitch strikes, batted ball data, 5.5 xFIP. So not what you want. I don't think we're that interested in pitching against the Dodgers anyway. We saw what Logan Webb, was probably their ace, struggled last night. So we don't have to get to him, but we do have to think about Dodger stacks. And one thing that I saw last night is, maybe it was just because of what else was on the table, but the Dodger stack was so low owned. So I wonder if that's something that we can brace ourselves for. It looks like it is. So we've got a couple high octane offenses we can get for pennies on the dollar when it comes to ownership. So yeah, I think we get to some Dodger stacks exposure, and then we don't want to play Alex Wood. Do we want to play Dustin May is the question. Let's go look at his metrics. What up, Check? Hit 1,500 subs, yo, beast. My little beastie's all grown up. Your market, Beast, your prop market, I'm telling you, that's more active than my DFS market that I'm so stuck on. I've watched my boy Keg go from nothing to now he's one of the biggest prop channels on YouTube. So I believe, Beast, you keep that grind up, you'll probably pass me in a year and a half, if not sooner, because that's such a hot market if you're putting out good content. Less than an 8% combined swing and strike rate for May through the first 2 games. Probably not what you want, but looking at last year's, I guess 13%. So you probably want to find a couple more whiffs in his pitches. But maybe as we broaden the sample size against other teams, the Giants have certainly been prone to the strikeout this season. And this particular, or at least this projected lineup, has a lot of 1 and 4 pluses. So I wouldn't push back, I guess, if you wanted to get to some May. Ownership on May, 1%. So no one's going to touch him. Again, his ceiling is probably not comparable to anyone else in the 9K range. So if he falls through the cracks, he falls through the cracks. But a super positive park, an okay matchup, hunting strikeouts. Makes sense. So like I don't feel convicted to stack any Giants here. So give me some Dodgers. You can cherry pick some G-men if you wanted. Nobody has a high rating on the bomb detector. And for the Dodgers, we got a bunch of guys with 4s. Mookie with a 4.1, JD with a 3.9, Trace Thompson 4.14. We know his lefty split's pretty doggone good. So that's what we're working with here. Let's get caught up on chat. Today's the day to play the Angels. Heavy chalk last night. Probably want to know today. Perfect game to go back to back. Yeah, that's good. A little goldfish, little slot machine theory. What up, Ocean? Freeland is good at cores. Man, there's not a left-handed pitcher on the planet. I would probably stack this Cardinals lineup against like prime Randy Johnson, bro. That's just, they're so good against lefties. But yeah, Freeland has been serviceable. Austin Riley's your dong pick. Let's go. Just made the first pass on the Camaro this year. Just made the first pass on the Camaro this year. All right, let's go. Am I pitching DeGrom? Absolutely. Your girlfriend teaches Frank Thomas's kid? The Big Hurt. Let's go. That's cool. May and Manoah with a Braves 5-man. That's contrarian enough. I can get down with that. End of dive. Can you show your favorite arms or stacks? Yeah. I mean, we've been doing that back and forth. But this is the arms as we're researching game by game. These are names we jotted down for pitching. And then these are the stacks I've jotted down that I want to get to. So I'll fill out like the individual player names and stuff like that, and you know, whatever notes that we might come up on for the Vipers. But that's what we got. We'll look at the bottom sector too. I'd say, well, let's take a second to go see what lineups have come out, and we'll get those punched in. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, hot takes, throw them in chat, and I'd be glad to look at anything that you guys want to look at as a group. Don't mind. Didn't seem like anything was screaming at us from PrizePicks, but maybe we can take another look. We do have a Tigers lineup to throw out into the spreadsheet, see if that changes anything. I think we're all interested in Alek Manoah. I think we might be overvaluing him based on his first 2 starts, but I also don't want to get caught up in 2-game sample sizes. But the metrics certainly leave me some things to watch and worry about. But he's certainly he's an energy situation guy. So home opener in Toronto, crowd's gonna feed him, and this is just a abysmal dog water lineup. Look at the K rates in this lineup. Jonathan Scope is your least likely to strike out. I mean, that's just a crazy sentence. And only 2 players, Akil Baddoo and Kerry Carpenter, had an above average WRC plus. So strength of schedule, Manoah check. Big time spot for him, underpriced. Just looking for him to clean up some stuff from the first 2 games. Padres lineup is out. Xander's leading off. Machado, Juan Soto, Nelly. I'm like a bird. Jake Cronenworth, Hassan Kim, Trent Grisham, Brandon Dixon. Is Nola batting 7th? Let's see. No, Luis Campusano. He's batting 7th. All right, cool. QQ. Anything else we're missing? Cubs. We got a Cubbies lineup. We did. Nico Horner, Dansby Swan. Hold me closer. Tyler Dansby. Ian Happ, Trey Mancini's batting cleanup. Cody Bellinger. Patrick Wisdom. Wisdom getting a little bit of boost there, right? So we talked about his likelihood to homer. And now he's batting 6, so that makes me feel a little bit better. He has a 403 rating on the bomb detector. That's good. Royals not out yet. Man, we got a lot of lineups. I love baseball. A lot of lineups. I think that's all the lineups. So we're looking good. Let's get caught up on chat. You think Dodgers limit May all year after Tommy John? It's very possible, and it would be very likely. And Dave Roberts we've seen him kind of like baby step pitcher. Like Julio Urias wasn't ever like fully unleashed pitch count last year and a half, 2 years. So is Pablo Lopez viable in DK? Absolutely. Wouldn't be like my first 3 or 4 clicks, but that game is the tale of 2 teams with watered down lineups. So Lopez's biggest concern for me would be his lefty splits, 18% K rate to lefties, 250 average allowed. His righties is where he makes it up, and the White Sox threw out 4 lefties, right? Benintendi, Gavin Sheets, 2 guys hard to strike out anyway. Yasmani Grandal and Oscar Colas. So Colas strikes out a little bit more. Grandal is what it is. So if he can get around those guys, there's certainly some strikeout potential to be had, and there's some value at 7,300. So if you're looking for 20 plus, it's very viable. If that's the word you use, viable. Yes, it's viable. Wish there was one or two less lefties, but this isn't a Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada lineup, like, so it's watered down. What up, Babbitt? Going with pitchers. I'm 0 for 4 going with hitters. I'm winning going for $400. Underdog Mookie Betts with me. Let's go. It's hard with Riley Green going yard. You like that? We got a bunch of home run calls today. I love it. How many Ks do you think Grayson Rodriguez get today for the O's? This A's lineup is dog water. I would say I would expect 1 per inning. What's the prop? 30 fantasy, 5.5 Ks. Do we think he can get to 6 innings? The 15.5 pitching outs isn't really giving us 6 innings, but it's okay to not push him on his second start. But I would lean the over for sure. Nick Mason yard. All right, let's take a peek at the bomb detector. Let's see what it's thinking today. What's the bomb detector? Shohei Ohtani, ineligible to be rostered as a hitter, leads the bomb detector. 4.32. Mike Trout's up there. Goldie, Arenado. I mean, these are cliche chalk names, right? Tyler O'Neill, Trace Thompson, Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, Brandon Belt, Marcus Semien, Patrick Wisdom, Eduardo Escobar. That is our guys with a 4+ rating. Everybody else a little bit more modest. And all these guys look like massive amounts of chalk. So good luck, Josiah Gray. Good luck. It sucks to stack the Angels, and you mentioned it too. Somebody mentioned about the Angel stack ownership last night versus tonight. Yeah, it's gonna go down because you can't roster Ohtani as a hitter, and it's such a integral part of that stack success, right? So if you wanted to stack Angels, knowing that you can't actually play Ohtani, Ward, Rendon got scratched yesterday with something about back, so he might even be fully healthy. So it'd be basically Renfroe, Trout, Ward, and then you just kind of grab and claw a couple other guys. So it probably will just be lower owned by default just because of Ohtani's inability to be used offensively from a DFS standpoint. So tomorrow it's gonna get weird, mama. For some reason, these Wednesday, Thursday, the next couple days, we get a little bit more day action. So we got some early games, a lot of day games in the main slate. We've seen one site lock at 540 and the other one stick. So it could be a 4 to 5 game main slate. So I really don't know how we're going to serve content for this yet. I'll kind of think about it tonight. We'll definitely I'll make sure that like every game's in the spreadsheet. Thursday's another similar situation. Rough slate. Friday, big Friday night chaos. So Friday night was probably going to be the next 3 p.m. stream. And that should be fun to sweat that game. Yankees back at the house against the Twins. Saturday, we're right back to day game. So might only have one more 3 p.m. stream coming this week. I'm not sure how we're going to serve content tomorrow. Maybe if the main slate is the afternoon slate with decent money, maybe you can get me to roll my big butt out of bed. And we'll get on and do some research. But let's stay flexible. I'll let you know on Twitter or in the Discords, you know. Last couple of things, they need to give them a separate name. Yeah, the A game. That's the most logical plot. Like, why haven't they done that? Like, I get it. The first time it happened, you're like, all right, this is weird. How do we do this? Freaking just make 2 Ohtanis in your system, right? 8630. We did it. We got to 8630 subs. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Appreciate you guys. What do you think about Freddie Freeman specifically? Seems like a nice guy. I love Freddie Freeman. Tonight, Freddie Freeman's matchup against Alex Wood. Wood against lefties last year was really good. 0.27 homer per 9 allowed, 193 average allowed, 28% K rate. Freddie Freeman looks like the worst click for a homer. I don't know if he's due for a day off, but if I'm a skip looking at these numbers, this is Freddie Freeman's day off. So nothing here is a plus other than it's Freddie Freeman. He's really good. Hits 280 against lefties. Yeah. Matchup is not good, though. Anyone notice DraftKings took Yankee players out of the contest? No, I did not. That's crazy. Tomorrow morning, maybe? We'll see. I'll see if there's any other baseball streams in the morning. If there's other baseball streams in the morning, I don't like to be on against other streams, you know? We'll see. If not, maybe I'll look at it at like 10 or 9. But that's it. So I'm going to be in the rundfs.com VIP Discord in a little bit. If you guys jump in there, click this voice chat. We'll be in there chilling, making some lineups, making some pulls, having some fun, shooting a breeze. I appreciate you guys making part of my afternoon, be part of your afternoon. All I ask is 3 things: sub, thumbs up, and tell somebody you love them. I love you. Good luck. God bless, and go win some money.